I was like 11 years old. I was walking. I went to Warehouse Road and I tried to get a job. I was looking for ways to try to get money. And then one time I caught on, I lied about my age, and I got a job at Aquarium Foods. So that was my first job, washing dishes, being the bus boy. And the crazy thing about that,
what's the biggest difference in the JUCO game and the D1 game?
I feel like it's the defense. JUCO is more fast paced, putting points on the board. You got coaches in the stands. We're trying to get to the next level. It really ain't a big drop off, because when you look at a mid-major and a high major, for the top tier, like the top level mid-major teams, 1 through 5, you pretty much even. The high major teams, where they get you is in depth.
You led the nation in rebounding, leaving on the floor, and eating a can of chili. What do you think would have happened if you would have been on a meal plan, sleeping in the bed at night?
A coach would get fired if they bought you a meal outside of, the normal realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole different era. You know what I'm saying? I remember, man, when I was in college and I was in Little Rock, me and my mama, we used to have to mail the food stamp card back and forth. What up? It's your boy Shadzilla, and this is the first episode of the Post Pro podcast. I got my childhood mentor right here, Troy Rogers, man. He gonna tell y'all, he gonna help narrate some of the stuff that we went through growing up. He came into our life when we was about 12, 13 years old. No, 11 years old, right? 10, 11. And, man, he kept us in church. He had us in basketball teams. Man, he just was a positive influence on us because, we needed that. We walk outside the house, we got so many negative influences.
Right.
So, like I said, man, it's my childhood mentor. We've been in touch my entire life, and still mentoring me to this day. And
Okay.
and I'm glad to have him on the podcast. This was intentional. I wanted the first episode to be with you.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. Looking forward to it, man. We're going to call this episode From Hoops to Hustle.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to learn about Rashad, man, from all the way from the west side, man, to now real estate mogul. I'm speaking it into existence. Mm-hmm. And so I met you in the west side when I started working there, man, you and a couple guys. And, man, we, like you said, man, the west side is at that time, man, was a lot, like you said, a lot of negative influences, but we wanted to be something positive for you guys, man. So speaking about that, man, being from the west side, how did that shape and mold you at a young age?
I mean, being from the west side, man, it's just like that. The environment, you either adapt to it or you succumb to it if you're there long enough. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sports was able to save me because it kept me busy a lot. I mean, but even then, you still had opportunities to go left. So just growing up in that environment, the crazy part about that question that you just asked me is when you in it, you don't really know that you in something that you don't supposed to be in. Like, it's just, this is home, this is normal. You walk outside and this is what it is. I didn't really know that, we was down bad until I went other places. I'm like, oh, dang, y'all don't live like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy,
So, we talk about, I've been in this field ever since you've been a young kid. And we talk about, growing up without a father. Your father died when you was 4. How was that void for you growing up? Hey, man, I see a older guy outside, man. Where's my dad at? Mm-hmm. How did that growing up without a dad? You was 4, he was dead. How did that for you, man? How did that shape you and mold your mindset at a early age?
Well, again, I mean, when I was younger, it didn't feel different because, what's crazy, right? It felt different when I had a handful of friends that had their dad in their life. I felt like, why they, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was opposite.
Right.
Because there was so many of us without a dad in the house. I'm like, damn, he got his mama and his daddy.
Right.
Like, man, that's good. Like, oh, you got your mama, you got a stepdaddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, that was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was normal to not have, 2-parent household in the environment that I grew up in. It wasn't until I got older that it was like, man, I wish I had my dad. Like, showing up to the games, practice. I have to rely on Coach. I'm on the back of Coach Higgins' truck. You remember that? You remember that truck? He had a whole team on the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to rely on my uncle. My uncle came and filled the void, came and got me on the weekends. He worked for Parks and Rec, I was at all the centers that he was at. So, you know, he helped fill the void, but I really didn't understand it until I got older.
Being that, back in the day, it was a lot of gangs, a lot of people vying for gangs. There was a lot of people wanting people to get into gangs. And I know that was all around you. Mm-hmm. How did you not succumb to that? And how did you stay focused, man, on your dream, which is to play college basketball?
Yeah, man, I just always been a driven dude. I mean, even though I'm around and my homeboys was doing the do. I remember one day I went to practice. I came back home and my whole little crew had got down. You know what I'm saying? But they never asked me.
Right.
And I just always been headstrong and I always been principle based. And I could never succumb to peer pressure. So I never really had to. I'm not gonna say I never had to go through that, but I just always stood tall and stood out front. You know what I'm saying? And led without much talking. You just knew. Like I said, like they all, like every one of them got down with the gang, and not one ever asked me to join.
You being the only male in the house, all sisters, did that give you a sense of, man, I got to make sure we get out of here. I got to make it so I can take care of my family. Did that drive you growing up?
Yeah, man, I always been ambitious, man. Like, I remember going job hunting. You remember Warehouse Row?
Yeah.
Downtown. And for y'all that don't know, the West Side, the side of town that I'm from, it's connected to downtown in Chattanooga. So we can walk downtown. I remember I was like 11 years old. I went walking. I went to Warehouse Row and I tried to get a job. I was looking for ways to try to get money. But they were like, oh, you're not old enough. You're not old enough. And then one time I caught on. I lied about my age. And I got a job at Aquarium Food. So that was my first job, washing dishes, being the bus boy. And the crazy thing about that, like I said, we can walk to the West Side. But, I'm 12, 13 years old, right, walking back home at 2 a.m, soaking wet from washing dishes. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make it. I was making like $90 a week or something, but that was good for ninth grade. You know what I'm saying? I could buy some clothes, and we was homeless at the time, so I had to make something happen. So that's why that's another reason why I had got that job. We had split up. My mom went to go stay with my aunt. My sisters got in where they could go get in, and I went to go stay with my grandma on the West Side. So, and I got a job, and I was kind of supporting myself, living with my grandma.
You always had a smile on your face, not knowing, what you had to go back to at home. Yeah. We always talk about, people always hollering about getting out the mud. Mm-hmm. But I was blessed to see you actually do that. You got children now. You married. How important is it for you, man, to be what you didn't have growing up?
Oh, man, it's super important. Like, man, like just being there. Like, I cut my trip short to get back. My daughter got a volleyball game. I'm planning my trip around that. Like, I got to make it back. And they know this. You know what I'm saying? We just was in Napa Valley in California in wine country. And I'm like, man, I got to, I left at 3 a.m. Like, why you leaving at 3 a.m? My daughter got a volleyball tournament. As soon as I get off the plane, catch an Uber straight to the volleyball tournament, and I'm there. I made the first game, you know what I'm saying? And so just being there, because, it still to this day, at my age now, I still have thoughts about, like, nobody was at my games when I was playing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just looking up in the stands, and you see some of your teammates, their parents at every game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking up like I ain't got no representation. So I'm just out there on a mission, and that's kind of translated to how I am now. I can't hear the cheering or the booing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who here. I'm on a mission. Hey, if you out there and you want to learn how to do real estate development, whether it's building single houses, communities, or tiny home communities, join the Post Pro community today. I'm in there giving game. I'm walking you through all of our $60 million in developments. I'm showing you everything. I'm connecting you with the vendors. We're doing property walks, the whole 9. Click the link below and join today.
When you say you're on a mission, you can't hear the churn or the booing. That means you locking in.
Yeah.
What did that do for you, man? When it was silence out there, it was just you and that ball. Talk to us about that.
Man, I just look at it like, man, every rebound that came off the rim, I looked at them as dollar signs. That was my way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, for y'all who don't know, like I wasn't like the star player like from jump. I had to work my way in. I went to college on the academic scholarship, not an athletic scholarship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to walk on. You know, I was a water boy my freshman year at Tennessee State. You know, they saw me playing in the YMCA. My boy Sidney Pointer, shout out to Sidney. Man, he saw me playing in the YMCA. I remember. I had a mouthful of gold teeth. I had 12 goals. This at the time my hair started falling out, so I got the stocking cap on. So I got a scully on, gold teeth. That like, man, look like I just got out the joint. But you know, after I talked to Sidney, he was like, "Man, what you gonna do?" I said, "I was gonna go back to Tennessee State and try out again."
Right.
And Sidney was like, "Man, you should come over here with us, Chat State." So I'm like, "All right, I'll go over there and try to start playing and stuff." So I'm not on scholarship anyway. I'm on academic scholarship, so that got me into Chat State. And I started working out. You know, coach come in the gym, look, and you know when you're trying to try out, you want to see what the coach is feeling. You want to see what he's thinking on his face. So one day he called me into his office, and he said he wanted me to have me on the team, but I was a walk on. By the second game of the season, I was starting.
Right.
And he called me into the office again and gave me a scholarship.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a wrap from there. You know, from a walk on, sleeping on the floor at the apartments, because I was like, I didn't know how I was gonna get to school. Like when those school bus coming, you know what I'm saying? Until I get my Pell Grant, I can't get a whip.
Right.
So I went to go stay at the apartments of the out of town players, because at Chet State, the apartments weren't for the local players. But I had to stay there because I didn't know how I was gonna get to school. So I was on there sleeping on the floor. I go home, grab a can of chili, come back to the apartments.
We talked about that.
Be ready, you know what I'm saying? Like get a ride from the out of towners, because they had cars. Like, man, these Atlanta dudes got some money. They had whips. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Man, okay. So that was so good. It was a lead to my next question. Let's dive a little bit more into Tennessee State. You went to Tennessee State. You was the water boy, and you asked, "Hey, can I walk on?" You couldn't walk on. Talk about that, what that made you feel. And I want you to talk about the process, because all these guys today, man, they want it quick, man. Mm-hmm. They don't want to pay the price.
Yeah.
They don't want to eat the chili.
Yeah.
They don't want to live on the floor.
Yeah.
They want somebody to hand it to them. Rashad, talk about how important the no's were. A lot of times, man, we want so many yeses, but I think our blessings come from the no's.
Yeah.
Talk about how the no's got you to where you are today.
Man, for me, I'm happy I am the way I am, because I don't have an ego.
Come on.
My goal was to play D1 basketball. So if I got to do the water boy just to see what a Division I practice is, and mentally download it, so I can go, when I go train, know what I'm up against, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If I got to go play intramurals, I played intramurals that year. Okay. Make the best out of it. All right, now I'm going to be bumping up against these football players, and, playing against grown men is going to really change the game. So that summer, that's when I came back, and it was just like my body had developed, because I was a year ahead. These days, people reclassify to be a year behind.
Right.
I was a year ahead. I graduated when I was just turned 17.
I remember that.
So, I had that 1 year at Tennessee State was really my catch-up year.
Right.
I caught up with my class, and then that's when I went from a boy to a man on the court.
Man, you led the nation in rebounding, sleeping on the floor, and eating a can of chili. What do you think would have happened if you would have been on a meal plan?
Yeah,
sleeping in the bed at night. What do you think would have happened?
Man, it would have been over with. It would have been over with, like a Neal deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I commend the players. This, but like we went through some stuff. Like, it was against, a coach would get fired if they bought you a meal outside of the normal realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole different era. You know what I'm saying? I remember, man, when I was in college and I was in Little Rock, me and my mama, we used to have to mail the food stamp card back and forth.
Right.
Like, if I'm calling, I remember nights calling my mama like, "Hey, I'm checking the mail. It ain't nothing in there. Like, the card ain't it. Like, how I'm gonna eat?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to be the best you can be as a student, and then a student athlete when you're trying to figure out how you're gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? I get to campus, I'm like, man, what a meal plan.
Right. I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what a meal, like, how we gonna do this? When the meal plan coming? You got the grad assistant who really who talk to all the newcomers and the players, like they the liaison from the coach. So the grad assistant, I'm like, man, you know, what we gonna do with the meal plan? Like I you know, I only got a set amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I already know.
What we gonna do?
Man, I remember. So Chattanooga State did well. You got your scholarship. I remember, man, getting the call. Hey, man, we got to get him down here. We didn't have no party for you where they give you a trunk where you're able to, you know, 100 people come and you get money and stuff like that, man. We scraped it together, man, to get you down the way. Man, but one thing about you, man, you never complain. Rashad, talk about that, man, about complaining. What does complaining do?
Man, that's one of my monikers, man. Find an excuse to win.
Come on.
Like, man, complaining ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make the best out of it. I remember, I think it was one time I complained because, you know, I led the nation in rebounding in junior college and Division I. But junior college had this, like, specific rule that if the stats weren't turned in at a certain time, you couldn't qualify or you couldn't be number one. And lo and behold, we didn't turn the stats in on time, or whoever was in charge of that. And, you know, when it came out in the paper, it said number 2. So by this time, the season done started in Division I. So I'm walking out the game, I'm reading the media guide, and I'm like, number 2? I called Coach Price. I said, Coach, like, man, they saying I'm number 2. I was number 2 in JUCO, man. I was number 1. This coach so cool, he changed my whole mindset. He said, well, shit, lead it, be number 1 in D1. I said, say no more. It was over from there. Like, I thought he was gonna be like, oh man, yeah, we gonna go do this. He said, well, be number 1 in D1. And like that mindset was like, okay, get back on track. This is who you is. Like, you're not a complainer. You know what I'm saying? So lead it in D1, and I went out and did that.
Man, so at one time you had $20 in your pocket. Talk about that, man. How did you navigate that space? Hey, look, man, if I don't, this it. After this spent, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man. $20 to your name and the world to go.
Yeah. So, you know, like you said, my mom had to reach out to different people to raise money to get me to college. This is when I'm going to Arkansas Little Rock from junior college. And, you know, we had to report at a certain date. And I'm like we didn't have the money to get me there. So my mom had to go and shout out to my cousin, Coach Jennings. You know, I know he put up and a couple other people put up. I know she reached out to you, Troy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we scraped up enough money to get me a rental car to get me to school. My 2 homeboys from the west side drove me. They dropped me off at college.
Right.
So, like, when everybody else, mama and dad, they dropping them off at school, I got dropped off by my partners in the middle of the night. We unload the truck, and they hit it. They out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waking up. I got $20 in my pocket. That's why I'm like, I'm looking for the meal plan. Like, how we going to do this? I barely got here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? Like, we got practice. They got us in 3 classes a day, summer classes. We got to work out. And I'm like, man, I don't know how we going to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I love that story, man, because it talks about a lot of your perseverance, man. Man, in the mix, you grew up with, you know, it was you, Ducky, Antonio.
Yep, Lil
Doug. Man, talk about, you know, we lost one, Lil Doug. Talk about that. And then we're gonna go back to the school thing, but how was that blow, man, losing Lil Doug? A dude I know every day, all day, took from morning to night, eating off the same hush puppy. If he had $5, you had $5, man. Talk about that.
Yeah, man, it was tough losing Lil Doug, man, aka Fresh. I remember that night. I'm never really the same. After this night, and I'm explaining it. When people call me back to back, if it ain't an emergency, I flip out because I'm triggered to think it's something wrong.
Right.
If you call me back to back, so I tell people, Don't call me back to back unless it's an emergency, because like I'm shell shocked. Like I had got a call. I remember getting a call from my cousin Punkin in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. And the first ring, she called me on Facebook, and you hear that specific ring, and this was I'm kind of waking up, and then I get hit on my regular phone, and I look up, but I see the notification. She texts me on Facebook, and she was like, "Call me, LaDoug got killed." It's like 3 a.m. And I'm like, man. So I call her back. She telling me what happened and all this, and I'm like, bro, when I say like this, like sandbox, spend the night over each other's house.
I already know.
He was one of the people that had a mom and a dad, but they still stay. You know, we still in the project. We still in the same environment. But man, it was tough, man. Like that was my best friend from kindergarten.
Right.
You know, like sandbox, and it was tough, man. You know, I mean, his birthday just passed May 7th, and we was gonna have something for him, but it was raining. His sister was BB, but yeah, man, it was tough. And you know, you always hear these statistics like, you know, 1 in 3 is gonna die by murder and all that stuff, and it's like, man, it's so close to home. Like, man, like I remember just going to the funeral, man. It's just, I still ain't got over it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the videos of, like he was so full of life, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were Star Road students,
Right.
coming up.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, man, I just feel like, man, the environment, man, it's tough.
You go from, I'm jumping, but I'm gonna go back. You go from Chattanooga State, you get down to D1. What's the biggest difference in the JUCO game and the D1 game?
The biggest difference between the JUCO game and the D1 game, I feel like it's the defense. It's a lot more defensive-minded teams. It's JUCO is more fast-paced. You know, we putting points on the board. We got coaches in the stands. We're trying to get to the next level. It's a little bit more fast-paced. Division I, I mean, everybody's not gonna say everybody on the same level, but it really ain't a big drop-off. Because when you look at a mid-major and a high major, 1 through 5 for the top tier, like the top level mid-major teams, 1 through 5, you pretty much even. The high major teams, what they get you is its depth. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it for a long time. If you pay attention to college, they'll be neck and neck by halftime. Then they get blowed out in the second half. They can't keep it up because they ain't got the depth. So that's what I'll say. What's the biggest difference between D1 and JUCO?
Once again, you led the nation in rebounding. How was that every night? Okay, I led them in JUCO. All right, now I'm going to D1, bigger players, better. What was the discipline mindset that you went into every game with?
I just felt like the ball was mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never got the concept. Like, if you play basketball, you heard the concept of 50-50 balls. In my brain, that never downloaded. There is no 50-50 balls. It's mine. Like, when I'm in practice, it's the same way. And I feel like the way you practice is the way you're going to play.
So, okay.
Like, if we playing 3-on-3 preseason, I'm diving on the floor. I'm doing the same thing I would do if the lights was on. So when the lights actually come on, I don't have to adjust. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell my teammates, man, look, I'll knock them over. They be like, damn, bro, you knocked me over. I'm like, bro, it's my ball. Get ready for the outlet pass. Like, you went, like, oh, you going to get hit again. Because when it's gray area, that's how you ever seen the game and, oh, I thought you was going to get it. Oh, I thought you was going to get it.
Right.
Like, nah, that ain't happening on my watch. It's my ball. And that's how I went after the rebounds.
Talk a little bit more about preparation.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to prepare. They want somebody to give it to them. They want a handout. Rashad, talk about the preparation of battle.
Preparation is a cheat code.
Okay.
So, man, I remember we used to be in film, and most people hate film because you got the lights off. Like people, I never fell asleep in film ever. I never got that, but it's always somebody who gonna fall asleep in film. You cut the lights down, you got the game on. Coach got the clips. He's going through the clips, and for me, that was a way to get an advantage. I'm looking at my opponent, what he like to do, what he don't like to do, where he like to catch the ball, where he don't like to catch the ball. Do he like to run? Is he physical? Because if he's physical, I'm going to hit you first. If you like to run, I'm going to make it a track meet. I'm going to make you chase me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like preparation, and I used to use film as a way to get an advantage. That's the same way I do it with the real estate. When I go to get a development approved, I'll go sit in somebody else's session just to see who's on the panel. Who's the a-hole? Who's the nice one? Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, like you denied everything. Like, who is this guy? What does he want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done that. I've gone and sent on other people's dockets just to see what the temperature was. So when I came for my meeting, I was already prepared. So that just taking that extra step, and like that was like one of the transferable skills that I learned playing sports, of watching film. How can I get an advantage? Like, film don't supposed to be boring. Film is where you get the advantage. Because if I know what you're going to do and I take you out your game and you averaging 15 to 20 points a game, and on the night you play us, you hit 7, I mean, we almost, that almost won the game for us right there. Now imagine if all 5 people on the court had that same mindset, studying their opponent and shutting them down and taking away what they like to do.
Man, let's go to it. Man, you left you left Little Rock, went overseas and played, and then you transitioned into real estate development. What inspired that shift?
Man, so as far with the real estate, my uncle used to always talk about real estate. He used to stay in Detroit, and we used to only see him on like Christmas, on the holidays. But when he came down, we knew he was doing better than us. So he used to always talk about real estate. So when you see somebody doing better, you're going to listen. So I'm like, man. And then, like, also he was a book hoarder. So he used to have all these books. And when I say book hoarder, like, I'm talking about from the floor to the ceiling. They'll go to these thrift stores, get, like, books for $0.25, 50 cents. And he had all these real estate books, and he used to always give them to me. But I never read them when I was young. And as I got older, I started reading them. And, just that piqued my interest. And then as I was playing basketball and I felt my body breaking down, I had already had the real estate mind because I'm reading all these books and I'm listening to these audio books, and I just gravitated towards that. But when I retired in 2015 and I got into real estate, I started out as a realtor on the ground floor. And then when 3 years, you got to wait 3 years to be a broker, I opened up my own brokerage. And then I realized I didn't want to babysit agents. I relinquished the brokerage, and then I started flipping houses. Then I started building houses. And I got an aggressive mentality. My whole thing with the real estate is development is like the league. That's the highest level that you can play. So in real estate, even though I'm in a different business, I'm in a different sector, the goal is to get to the league. So I'm trying to get to be the developer. So after I built a couple houses, I'm like, all right, I could put a cluster of these houses together and develop a community. So it was that mentality. Also, too, I was never shy about, like I told you, like I went to a Robert Kiyosaki event when I was like 17. Like it was downtown, the West Side. We walked downtown, and I thought I was gonna meet him, but it was one of them. Hey, run to the back. We got $30,000 program. So I'm like, man, I ain't got $30. So, but I just always been ambitious, going to free events, going to paid events, paying for coaches, just trying to, cut down my learning curve. So, when it came time to start developing, I was like, man, the Rolodex had got so big at that point. I was like, man, there's nobody on my phone that I can't call that I can't get a question answer for.
Give me some lessons from your basketball career that you take into your current role every day.
Discipline, man. Nobody. So this is what I learned too. If we had practice at 5 a.m., ain't nobody coming and wake you up. Like, hey, Troy, you up? Shy, you up? Like, nah. Like, so from that point, like, it was on me. I had to be there, or I had to run. I wasn't starting. So I had to be there, and I never missed. So that same discipline, that was easy because the thing about it is, as an entrepreneur, you know, whether you go hard or not, nobody would know but you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could put out here and you put this facade on Instagram that you're doing all this working, but if I want to stay in the bed all day and made a post a day, I can fool everybody, but I ain't gonna fool the people who matter, and that's me. Like, I can't fool myself. You either put the work in or you didn't. So, you know, I just always been disciplined to get it done. And like I said, when you're on a mission, cheating ain't on your mind.
Ooh. From rebounds to real estate, looking back at the journey, what would you say is the most important lesson that you learned about perseverance and growth?
Perseverance. What's the most important lesson I learned about perseverance and growth? Man, perseverance has been a whole part of my entire life. I don't know if you know this, but I won most of my high school scholarships off of, they had the character traits of the month. You remember that?
Yeah.
Perseverance was one of the character traits of the month.
Wow.
I wrote an essay on perseverance, and I told them about my life. That's how I won all those scholarships.
Wow.
And that's how I got to school on the academic scholarship. I just took the pen out and wrote about my life. And it wasn't the intention of winning the scholarship. It was just, you know, you had to write essays for the character traits of the month, but it just caught fire of what, you know, my upbringing and what we had to go through. So that's been a big part of my life, perseverance. That's how I got my academic scholarship.
I love it. What advice do you have for young people growing up who face the same obstacles that you faced when you were younger?
I'm coming to get you.
Okay, talk about that.
I'm coming to get you. So
Talk about
my
that.
thing is, I want to go. So for my platform, I want to go into these hoods and these hostile environments and find me. I want to find somebody who they want to do right. They just need a guidance. They need a Troy Rogers. They need a mentor to come in and help guide them. Because I guarantee you, if I would have stayed in that environment and I didn't have a mentor, I wasn't no different than anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just idle hands, idle time. You know what I'm saying? I was doing stuff. You had us in the Candy Castle League.
Right.
You had us in church. You had us working out, lifting weights.
Right.
Like, we had something to do, and then we had something to look forward to. But if I'm waking up, let's say Troy don't exist. If I'm waking up and I go outside my door, I'm in a war zone. From the outside looking in, oh, they hanging in the hood. But no, I'm just outside.
Right.
This is where I'm at.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? If you stay in that environment long enough, you either gonna have to adapt or you're gonna succumb to it.
Ooh. Let's talk a little bit about our weekends.
Yeah.
Friday when y'all was little, my boy Pat in the back.
Yeah.
Y'all have y'all stuff packed. I get out of work. I come pick y'all up. We go get something to eat, chill. Saturday we hang out, play the game or whatever. And then Sunday we was always in church.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all helped us. You know, we always had to get up early because we had to put the place together.
Yeah.
Y'all sit in church with us, the meetings. Y'all sit in church with us all day. Then we go get a Captain D's, and then we'll take y'all back home. We did that till you left.
Yeah.
When you got real busy in basketball, we kind of broke up a little bit. But I know we got a good 4 years in.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those times, man, when you was younger.
Man, that was good times because not only was I there, my whole crew was there.
Yeah.
Lil Doug, Tonio, Donnell, Ducky.
Yes.
Denard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lil Ellis. Like
Yeah.
the whole squad was there. So and it was like, man, it may seem small, but to get out that environment for a weekend,
Right.
like, that was a breath of fresh air.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember having to go back and it was like, all right.
Right.
All right. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head on the swivel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we back in it. But
Right.
it was just good to get out that environment for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, something that simple.
Man, we loved y'all too, man. And Pat was talking about the paper route when you used to go get up early in the morning and work with him, man. Talk about some of them early mornings, just the conversation, man. As a young guy, you know, we just had graduated from college, man. But, you know, I think everything's come full circle. And it like today, I was telling him, we always talk about relationships are the currency.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nothing that's going to stop me other than death to being here for you.
Right.
Me and Pat talked about it earlier. We've always seen a glow in your life. And I don't know what that's been about, but you've always been different. You've always been a special type of young man. Talk to me, if there was anything that somebody didn't know about Rashad, tell us what it is.
Oh man, that's tough. If something that they don't know about Rashad, tell her what it is. Um, I don't do gray area stuff.
Okay,
Like I
talk.
stand, I
Explain
live.
that.
I'm principle based.
Right.
So no matter how big the opportunity is, like if it's against my principles, I'm not doing it. And that's from the outside looking in. A lot of people say that'd be to my detriment because I don't play the game. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like, yo, I'm principle based. Like I can't fake it. If it ain't funny, I ain't laughing. And you know what I'm saying? If I got a fake smile, I ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it just, I just want to be around genuine people. So if I'm around you, I rock with you. And if you see me not around somebody, they did some suckers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. But like I think that's one of the things. And my mom had to point that out to me. She was just like, man, you can't keep throwing people away. And I'm like, well, they violated. They went against the principles. You know what I'm saying?
They went against the principles.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. This is the last question that I have. Somebody who needs hope, somebody who needs inspiration, or just a new perspective of coming adversity. Talk to the people.
Man, I think as far as overcoming adversity, I think you just got to keep going, man. You got to get around good people. Like, I don't know how this would have played out if I didn't have a mentor.
Okay.
Like, our relationship was so strong.
Right.
We still here 30 years later.
Do you hear me?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, like, imagine if I didn't have nobody coming to get me on the weekends. All those opportunities I had to go the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time we had, I think it was you or Isaac. I don't remember.
Right.
But we had went to go work out at the YMCA.
Yeah.
And some of my partners didn't.
Right.
And they almost got a case, with a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm like, if I wouldn't have had y'all to come pick me up, I would have been right there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just, man, you got to find good people. Like, you got to find good people. And you got to.
Talk about being where your feet are. Talk about being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. It can keep you out of trouble.
Yeah, man. Like, you got to have discernment, too. Hey. I mean, it's done been plenty of times where, it was like, hey, let's go do this. And I'll be like, nah, I ain't feeling that.
Come on.
You got to be man enough and you got to be confident in yourself enough to be like, nah, I ain't doing that. And, I never had an issue with that. Like, nobody like, oh, no, come on, you going to go. Like, I never had an issue with that. But it's just you gotta have discernment, man. You gotta stand on your own too. Like I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, man, you know how many people that's locked up or dead?
Come on,
because they didn't have the heart to be like, I ain't with that.
Yeah.
Or how many people that done rolled over on their partners because they knew they weren't with it.
Right.
They didn't have the heart to tell them they weren't with it. They went with it. Got jammed up and rolled over on their team.
I was just,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just
I was just thinking that.
Just be you. It's easier that way.
I was just thinking about that. Tell me where's Rashad in 5 years? If money wasn't an option, where was Shadzilla? What would he be doing in 5 years?
In 5 years? I'll be training my son, training my daughter to be the best volleyball player in the world. I just like being around my kids, man. I like being around my family, man. Like now, man, you got to think, man. I always say this jokingly. I done lived 3 different lives.
Right.
I done been an athlete. I done lived abroad for 10 years. Like my whole 20s, I've lived in different countries. Like I done seen so much, did so much. And now it's just like, man, it's just I look at my kids, like me and my daughter, man. We woke up at 5 this morning working out. She playing volleyball. And I told her, I told her, I'm like, because like volleyball is serious business. I'm just now getting hip to this.
Right.
Like they had a national tournament here in Atlanta, and on a Friday, they missed school. Like that's how deep it is. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, like, and they travel too. I was like, man, I ain't finna be doing all this traveling if you ain't good. We finna get this work in. So we was up at 5 in the morning doing drills and, you know what I'm saying, like that. So I just like being around my family. So in 5 years, of course, with the business success, I plan on being at the top, like just being one of the top developers. One of my goals is to go down as one of the best investors of all time.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Warren Buffett got that seat right now, but you got to think, a lot of people forget Buffett didn't make his money until he was 65.
Okay, come on, Rashad.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
so I'm in the game now, and I
Right.
study him. So I'm learning all the stuff that he's doing, and I'm changing my mindset because, like I said, I got an aggressive personality, and I invest aggressively. But when I listen to Warren Buffett, he was like, "Hey, you know, nobody wants to get rich slow, but that's the way to do it." So when I'm hearing that, I'm like, okay, I got to start some drip campaigns over here,
Okay.
some slow investments. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I study him and Charlie Munger too. So, in 5 years, man, I feel like we doing bigger developments. The system is more well oiled, and I'm transitioning into that I quadrant. The goal for me is just be strictly an investor.
Okay.
Well, I got a pool of money, and I'm just Hey, Troy, you got a business? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm an angel investor in your business. You know what I'm saying? Or you got a
Right.
business? I'm an angel investor. That's my ultimate goal.
What are you reading right now?
Be your own banker. I just got back from Dallas, man, Private Money Club, and they got a lot of people who do these whole life policies, and that's why I get a lot of my investors for my deals. So I'm in Dallas at this event strictly to raise money, but I'm still sitting in these conferences. So I'm hearing the speakers, and as I'm hearing, I'm like, this sounds good. I need to do this. I didn't know. Like, let's say for example, you put 50,000 into a whole life policy, immediately you could pull out 90% and put it into an investment, and your 50 will still be making compound interest as if the 50 was still there.
Wow.
So it's like, man, I could take it out, put it in another investment, make 20% while I'm still making X% over here as if it's all still there. Wow. So I'm like, man, like just going to different stuff like that, and just in 5 years, if I have my way, I want to be in the I quadrant while I'm just investing, and the machine is running itself, and I'm at the top. I'm the chairman, and I'm bringing in the capital. I'm making the relationships, but the machine is running.
We talked about it earlier. Talk about how key that relationship is. Then I got another question for you. How key is exposure? You talked about, man, I didn't even know how bad it was until I went somewhere else. Talk about relationships. Talk about exposure.
Yeah, exposure, man. I always say access and exposure is one of the keys. And I thought about starting a nonprofit for high school seniors. And the goal of the nonprofit was to make sure we took them out the country on one trip before they graduate high school.
Okay.
Because I learned so much traveling. I got so much smarter traveling, adapting to cultures. Because the way they do it in Dubai is not the way they do it in Mexico.
Okay.
It's not the way they do it in Korea. Okay. It's not the way they do it in Germany.
Okay.
But everywhere you go, you got to respect the culture, and you adapt to the culture, and you learn so much. So that's why at this day and age, I can have a conversation with anybody because I done been so many places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think traveling makes you smarter. You know what I'm saying? And it also lets you know that the world is bigger than your block. You know what I'm saying? You got some people who never left.
Right.
And they don't think nothing wrong with that. And it's like, not saying leave, but either make it better or go get better and come back and, help other people out. You know what I'm saying? So
talk about relationships, how key they are.
Oh yeah, networking is the cheat code of the game.
Cheat code. I'm
telling you, man. I was like, that's why I'm going to all these different events, because I don't go to try to meet. It's 2,000 people at the event. I'm looking for 3 people, and I'm looking for 3 things that I can implement. I had to break it. I done been to so many of these things. I had to break it down like that.
Okay.
I'm looking for 3 people who I can keep, who we can add value to each other, and I feel like we'll be together for the long haul as far as relationship wise. And 3 things that I can immediately implement. Like, you don't gotta be there for everything. 3 things that you can implement. Meet 3 people, implement 3 things.
I love that. You've had a lot of basketball coaches throughout your life. Tell me one thing you took from Jay Price.
Coach Price. Shout out to Coach Price. One thing I took from Coach Price, man, is have confidence in yourself.
Come on.
Cause man, it's crazy, man. Coach used to, outside of every other coach who's trying to tell me not to shoot, Coach Price used to encourage me to shoot. Like, it was so different playing for him. Now, this ain't no knock to everybody else, but it was so different playing for him because you was able to play loose and not like sloppy, but like he knows what you bring into the game. So if you mess up, you ain't got to look to the bench and like, damn, is he mad? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only way Coach Price get mad is if you don't got the effort, if you ain't playing hard or you're not playing smart. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, playing for Coach Price, man, he just helped me build my confidence as far as like my jump shot and all that. Just playing more fluid.
Coach Calvin.
Coach who?
Well, the coach at Arkansas,
Coach Flan.
Coach Flan.
Oh yeah, Coach Flan. Oh no, that's my dog, man. Me and Coach Flan, we still tight like this to this day. He actually is an investor in the Valentina Estates deal.
What did you take from Coach Flan that you can do something with?
He's a player's coach. Just he want to see you win. He want to see you do good. He gonna stay on you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all love, man. Me and Coach almost got into it at one time in practice.
Talk about it.
So our head coach, man, we was doing some type of drill.
What was the head coach name? I thought I got
Coach Shields.
Shields. I thought it was Calvin. Okay, I got it messed up. My bad.
Coach
My
Shields.
bad.
So we doing this drill. We doing this one drill. It's like form shooting, man. Like we up under the rim. We doing these little hook shots under the rim. It's like stationary, so you got to jump. And I guess Coach Shields felt like I wasn't bending my knees enough. So he just went off on me. You know what I'm saying? But you got to thank the environment I'm coming from. Plus, I'm on my own. I live by myself.
Right.
I had my own projects when I was 17, turned 18.
Right.
So like I'm the man of my house. So like I don't get yelled at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he went off and I bucked. And then Flan, I guess he felt, you know, he came over there to, you know, kind of bag Coach up. And, you know, we had a little, but after that, man, we was tight. But it was just like, man, like, you know, like, man, you can't do everything to everybody.
Right.
Like I'm different.
Right. One thing me and you talked about maybe about 6 months ago, you was like, there wasn't no turning back. What, I'm gonna go back to the West Side?
Yeah,
talk about that, man.
Yeah, man. Just, you know, people are like, how hard? Like, you know, talking about how hard I played and diving on the floor and just playing hard every play. And I'm like, bro, I'm playing for survival, bro. I'm trying to, like, you don't know what I got to go back to. You know what I'm saying? I remember this vividly. So I'm staying in the projects, and I had a workout with the OKC. This is when Katrina happened. So they was the OKC Hornets.
Okay.
So I fly to Oklahoma City to work out for the Hornets, and they picked me up in this stretch. They picked me up in this stretch Hummer, and you know, we in there. Picked me in, a couple other guys gonna work out, wine and dine. Like, it's just a whole different world. We right here on the doorstep of the NBA.
Right.
And you know, see Chris Paul, we working out, and you get that NBA vibe. You feel like you there, right?
Right.
And then the workout over, I fly back. I'm coming back to the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just that mental, like, pull and tug. It was crazy. Like, man, I'm right there, but I'm right here. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, it's crazy.
Wow. That's so good. You talked about something with Coach Price, man, I love. You talked about effort. And so, man, talk a little bit about what that does for you, not only in basketball, real estate, then being a father, man. Just talk about the effort that it takes, man, to maximize that in everyday life.
Yeah, man, like I said, man, what I live by is no excuses, man. You got to find an excuse to win. Like, you know, like I said, I've been up since 4:44 this morning. Me and my daughter went to go work out. I took her to school. When I left school, I came here. I ran an errand. I had to go get some plans stamped. Went to the post office. Came, had some meetings, did some work, looked at some resumes. I'm bringing in a couple more new people. It's just all in a day's work, man. We shooting a podcast. I'm coordinating everybody getting here. you know, it's like, you know, it's no excuses, man, because it's no excuses when you on a mission, man. I know I done said that before,
Keep
but it's
saying,
like,
keep talking.
how you like my videographer is coming.
Yeah.
So I need to get my people here.
Yep.
I need to get somebody at the door.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta make sure the set is right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just no excuses, man. Like it's just all in a day's work. And for me, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't like it or love it. I'd be doing something else.
I love it, man. All right, so I came up with like some names to this thing. What we talking about? I talked about hoop and hustle. I'm gonna go through some other of my names. When I say them, I want you to talk about what that make you feel like when I say it. From the West Side to Worldwide.
Ooh, they don't know what the rich homies say. What I've been through, man. From the West Side to Worldwide, man. That's deep, man. Because you know, man, it's just the stuff that like it's so much stuff that we went through that to me I felt was normal. So it's like it ain't even nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember you know, there was a shootout at the Bessie Smith Strut.
Right.
And you know, somebody had died, a couple people got shot. And this is when I learned you can't play both sides, right? You can't toe the line. Not that I was towing the line, because like I said earlier, when you go outside, like these are my friends.
Right.
Like they are who they are. And it's an event downtown. Who else I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with my friends. So, and I'm playing basketball at the same time. So, you know, like I said, that situation happened. But I remember one day the detectives came and pulled me out of practice. And I remember that day, man. It was like, man, they pulled me in the office, they're asking me questions, and then they took me. I didn't practice that day. They took me downtown, and they took me downtown for questioning. And I knew it was real. Like I know you see this on the movies, but actually being there is different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they in there talking, and then they hit the record. They hit you know, they got that little tape recorder. They hit the record on there. Real.
Right.
But you know, just like being at the wrong place in the wrong time. Like anybody could have got hit that night. You know, bullets ain't got no names. You know, but it's just those type of situations, man, like making it out those situations from the West Side to Worldwide, man, it's crazy. Because I remember, like, I was walking down the street one day in Taiwan, and I just thought to myself, like, man, I'm in Taiwan. Like, just like sometimes you'll have them moments like, man, I'm riding down the highway in France, going to Bordeaux, headed to the casino. Like, this is way different from what I came from.
Right.
And you want to appreciate those moments. I don't have any regrets on basketball or you know, my travel, because I always respected everything in real time. You know what I'm saying?
Look, what are you grateful for?
My family, man. I'm grateful for you. You know, so I'm grateful for Pat.
I'm grateful
and the
for you.
whole crew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was a whole crew too. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for, you know, all the people who looked out when they ain't have to. Because like I said, it could have went the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many situations that I was able to survive and duck and, you know, do all that just by being around the right people and, you know, having something to do.
What do you say to a guy right now who looking at this podcast, who's down on his luck? What do you say to him, Rashad, that he can get up and be everything that he can be?
Yeah, man. All you need. So it's just like, so I'm gonna answer your question with a basketball analogy.
Come on.
It's just like if I was struggling in a basketball game. I done started the game 0 for 5.
Okay, talk.
So what's the next thing that I need to do? What in my mind, if I start the game 0 for 5, I either need a layup or a free throw. I need to see the ball go in. So to that person, you need a small win.
Come on, boy.
And start building on them small wins. They ain't got to be big wins. You ain't got to swing for the fences.
Ooh.
You down on your luck. Bro, small wins lead to momentum. Momentum lead to consistency, and consistency lead to results.
And so social media make you think that you got to have the big win. Rashad,
If you down on your luck, you don't need to be on social media. You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to watch a whole bunch of highlight reels if I'm down on my luck? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you
I
another
love that.
basketball analogy, right?
Come on, Shad.
So in the basketball world, everybody gonna make themselves a highlight tape, right?
Right.
The highlight tape is who you think you are. The full game is who you really are. If you take away the best game and the last game, whatever that is in the middle, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? So why would, if I'm down on my luck, I don't want to see nobody else highlight reel. Like you need to draw from a blank canvas, go dark and put in the work, because all that stuff ain't gonna do nothing but mess with your mind. Like, man, such just bought a Range Rover, such just bought a G-Wagon, but I mean they might be in debt. I know some people with luxury cars, man. Like, bro, come on.
Wow.
Like, bro, that's the messed up mentality though. People look at different things. I was listening. It was funny. I was listening to a rap song earlier. He was like, I got 700,000 in jewelry. I ain't even signed yet. But like, I'm like, bro, the real flex would be to have 700,000 in investments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that it may not sound cool with a beat behind it, but that's the real. Because I mean, name a couple rappers that had as much longevity and done lived the same life the whole time. It's always ups and downs. When the money's flowing, it's flowing, but when it ain't, it ain't.
What places are you working to get better? Where you want to get better at?
I want to get better at my public speaking and outreach.
Okay.
Because I feel like I got a story to tell, but I have been fighting getting out my comfort zone on the speaking tip.
Come on.
But like I said, I was joking when the cameras was off. I said I'm on the run because I had to speak in Dallas when I was at this event. I'm speaking now. Like, we got the podcast. I'm forced to speak. But so that's one of the things I'm gonna get better at, getting my story out there, because somebody needs to hear this. Somebody going through the same thing I went through. I ain't special. Like, they going through the same thing. And that's why I said, like, I want to shift all my energy to me. Like, every neighborhood got a couple people that they want to, like, natural selection. I don't want to go and try to force somebody. That's not me. It's people for that. But I want to use my energy for the people who want, like, hey, all you need is a boost. It's kind of like you see somebody on the side of the road. If they sitting in the car, what you going to keep driving? But if you see them pushing their own car, trying to get there, you going to get out and help. I done had that happen to me before. I ran out of gas one time. I'm in the Camaro, and I'm pushing the car. They came out, helped me. You know what I'm saying? But it's been times where the car stopped, and you know I didn't want to push the car. They flying by.
Shout out to my boy Gerald Tony, man. One thing you said, I remember you was like, I'm the OG now.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man, where the roles were reversed. Him being in the West Side, you from the West Side, him older. But you said, I'm big homie now.
Yeah. So, you know, me and OG, we grew up in the West Side, and OG was about 4 or 5 years older than me. He ran with my cousin. You know what I'm saying? So OG, he had got locked up. He had to do like 8 years, 10 years, but he did 8, fed. And he reached out to me on Facebook, you know, one day, and we started talking back and forth because he saw I was doing real estate. But at this time, I was just a realtor. He just saw me posting houses. And, you know, he was like, man, you know, I'm interested in getting into real estate. So I had sent him some books to the pen. I had sent him some books from Amazon. I sent him like 4 books. So I sent him the books, and then like 2 weeks later, I tapped back in with him. I'm like, hey, did you get the books? Did you get the books? He said, I already read them. So in 2 weeks, he had read all 4 of the books. So I'm like, man, okay, he's serious. You know what I'm saying? And we just kept in touch while he was in there. When he got out, he started coming by the project. So by the time he got out, I was flipping. So now he getting to see the investment side. So he read all about it. So now when he get out, now he get to see it and walk it, right? So I think OG done been out 3 years. Now he the GC on the $12 million tiny home deal. You know, and he helped me with some of my single house bills as well. So, you know, that's what it's about, man. You know, somebody make it out, you go back and you help your people who want to get help. That's a prime example.
Man, he's a prime example. And we'll say open doors, because I've had him come and speak several times for me. And he talked about the things that you did for him. And so think about how what you just sending them books has helped him come and speak, man. And he's had a lot of high-risk individuals, young men, man, really get inspired by his story.
Yeah.
So Rashad, talk about that lifeline, man, to other people.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta want to see other people win. You know what I'm saying? That's been my whole thing, my whole life.
Right.
I wanted my whole crew to win. You know what I'm saying? Just and like reach one, teach one. That's something I live by. You know what I'm saying? The same way you came and got me, and now it's my duty to go, and I do it effortlessly. It's my duty to go and help other people. Like, but you see how the seeds plant, right?
Yeah.
You help me, I help OG. OG goes speak to the youth. He helped multiple youth, and he might save somebody in the crowd. Like that's the domino effect we need to get going.
Man, I got goosebumps right now because I see the more that you hear your story, the more that you step out your comfort zone and talk and let people know where you came from. I really feel like that's gonna happen with a lot of more people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Gerald. And you know, and as we get ready to wrap up, man, you know, what is it? How can people get involved in what you're doing?
Man, as far as what, like, as far as investing, or if they want to learn, or
As far as learning, man, because you always giving out gems.
yeah. So
go
I
ahead.
did. I started a coaching community, the post pro community, where I'm in there talking every day, all day about real estate development, business in general, and also just how to transition, you know, for the athletes and everything like that. So,
Let's talk about that.
you know, that's so if you ready to invest in yourself, definitely join a community. If your money, if you don't have it right now, that's fine. I got community content too on YouTube. So I got about 800 videos on YouTube that you can get game from, and you can take action steps from. So it's something for everybody, you know. So that's how they can get in contact with me.
The guy sitting on the couch right now eating a bag of tater chips, who got the want to, maybe not the finances. How does he get to flip his first house?
The same way I did, man. I flipped my first house with no money.
Okay, talk about it.
So this is the thing about real estate. Whatever you don't got, you can go get.
Come on.
So my first flip was actually a listing. I had to change my mindset because on that listing, I was probably gonna make $5,000 if I acted as a realtor. But just by knowing the numbers, you know, they wanted to sell it for $130 because they had tenants in the house, which was family that wasn't paying. And what happens when your tenant's not paying a note? You got to pay it. So I got to pay my mortgage and yours. So they want to get it off quick. So they want to sell it for $130, but I knew the comps was $240 out there, and if I put $40,000 to $50,000 in it, I can make a couple dollars on it. So so back to the part where the no money part. I didn't have no money. I was a realtor at the time. Like I wasn't making no deals. So I had to put $500 earnings money down. Boom. I didn't have the credit either. I found a credit partner. I was in this real estate group chat, and I said, I need somebody with a 680 credit score. I paid them $5,000 when the flip done. One of the girls in the group responded, said, "Hey, my boyfriend will do it." Boom. I never met him. So he signed the docs. He signed on the loan. I do the flip. Once I do the flip, I probably made 61 mistakes. I made $61,000 my first flip.
What?
I didn't know what I was doing, man. I'm in there painting myself. I ordered my first contract off Craigslist. Like, man, it was all bad, man. And they was like some smokers too, like from South Pittsburgh. But I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I need a demo. Like, how hard can demo be? And then they got me in a little caption like, 17 years experience, which was some, you know, BS. But they done the ceiling sagging, so I had to get that fixed. But throughout that project, I figured it out. So you don't have to do something. You don't have to have done it before to do something right. You just got to be determined to get it done. And that's what it was. Because I remember sitting in there, man, just sitting on paint cans, like just looking at the ceiling like, man, how am I going to figure this out? But I stayed with it. I figured it out. I kept reaching out. I kept, you know, reaching out for different sources, asking questions, and getting it done.
Is determination a cheat code? You said several things have been cheat codes, which I think you need to make a book of cheat codes.
Yeah.
That need to come out, the Rashad Jennings cheat codes to real estate. And so Is determination a cheat code as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you can't be stopped. You can't be beat. There's no quit. Like I'm determined to win. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, I'm determined to win. Like that's definitely a cheat code. Like like how you gonna stop somebody that won't stop? And you can't. So man, you can't fail until you quit. I know that's like a buzzword, but like that's the truth. I remember I was talking to somebody who was like, "Oh man, I don't invest in Bitcoin." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Man, I always lose." I'm like, "Well, you can't lose until you sell at a loss. You can't fail until you quit." Like, what if I didn't do my first real estate deal for the first 6 months, and I was turning down coaching jobs? So what do you think would have happened if I'm like, "Oh, you know what? Real estate ain't for me." Like none of this will be here.
Right.
We wouldn't be here.
Right.
Like $60 million in development.
Come on, let's
For
talk.
revitalization in my own neighborhood.
Come on.
You know, even on from the west side, we got evicted when I was 13 and moved to Eastdale.
Come on.
So I'm still west side through and through, but like I lived in Eastdale too. So I got $60 million of development in my own neighborhood.
Come on, boy.
Well, we building over 250 houses in the next 18 months.
Say it again, Rashad.
We building over 250 houses in the next 18 months. Like everybody talking about, you know, buy the block, we building the block. And we leading by example. And we bringing the youth along with us. Like we having them come out on site, teaching them hands-on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just natural to us. Like this is what we want to do.
For every athlete, for every athlete who wants to invest, why is post-pro capital where my money needs to go?
The same way you would want me on your team when we was playing ball.
Oh, come on, talk about
it. Who can you go to war with? That's the question you gotta ask. Like, you know, sometimes you on some teams and you like, man, you look to the right, you look to the left, like, man, I don't know. But when I'm on the team, like, you know, oh, I can go to war with bro. Like, no matter what, on every level, with money, without money, I'm gonna show up the same way. I'm on a mission. We gonna win. Determination. And the thing about it is, for the athletes, right, it ain't if we gonna win, if we partner up, it's by how much. Woo! Like winning is like we supposed to win. I'm trying to make you quit. Like we trying to dominate this thing. Like whole different level. Like not just eke by, just win. Like nah, I wanna let's set the tone. Like, oh, that ain't to be played with.
Talk about now, you just got me on this now. Talk about the positive team. Talk about that. What's needed for a positive team?
I always refer to like a Navy SEAL team.
Talk about
like you don't need no huge team. You just need 6 or 7 killers. Like that you can really take over a whole country with 6 or 7 killers. With everybody is they specialists. Everybody they own specialists. Everybody got each other back and everybody on one accord. You can't beat a team like that. Ooh. Like I know what you do. You know what I do. I know what he do. I know what she do. Like, and everybody doing their job. That's a Navy SEAL team. And don't nobody got to be micromanaged. Like everybody just professional up. You know what I'm saying? Everything's on the up and up. That's a team you can't beat right there.
You can't beat them.
How? How?
Ain't no way.
Like we specialists, we doing what we supposed to do. We got each other back. We know what we supposed to do. We got the game plan. We prepared. We don't watch film. Everything's solid.
Man, I love it. Like I said, we social media a lot of times wants you to have, like you got things overnight. You always talk about preparation. Mm-hmm. You never go into the deal. You know the whole thing. Yeah. Every deal that you go into, you know everything about it in case people answer questions. I've been in some situations, man, where people get lazy, man, and they just come in there and haphazard. Why do you know everything about the deal, Rashad, on the front end when you're doing one?
That's a part of winning.
Okay.
That's one of the main ingredients, like preparation. Like I'm coming, like I said, not only am I coming to win, I'm coming to dominate. So how you gonna dominate if you don't know your stuff? You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it for me to go do the extra preparation. So when I get up there and I done thought about every rebuttal that you could possibly say back to me, and I got the answer for it. I already got the antidote for it. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I say, like, I'll get up on stage and I'll be nervous to speak, and they be like, "Oh man, you did real good." That's because like everything they ask me, I got an answer for it. And it's because I've done the research and I'm really in the game.
I learned that from you. I know we had a meeting a couple years ago. We were trying to get some stuff going, and I know you was telling me everything about the people we about to meet with. I was like, wow, it was stuff that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I took that. I took that from you.
Yeah, no, that's what I do before I have a meeting. I'm looking the person up, like not briefly, like I'm doing a deep dive. Like, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, I'm just wired like that. You know what I'm saying? Just I gotta be prepared. Like, imagine coming into a meeting not prepared, or you go into a game, man, you gonna get 50 dropped on you. If you don't know, dude, like to drive left and pump fake and get you in the air
Right.
and now I got my first foul. And,
Mm.
I ain't know. But if I know that, I'm on the floor for the whole first half. Like, just those little details, man. Like as far as like preparation, like it's not, it don't even take a lot of effort. It just take discipline.
Last question. What is it that have we missed anything? Man, it's been this has been a blessing. Man, like I said, it wasn't nothing that was gonna stop me from getting here. Man, I love you. I think you one of my favorite people. And you know I got your back. You know I'm in your corner. I've been so since you've been 10 years old. I'm gonna let you wrap this segment up. Is there anything that we didn't say that you want the people to know about Rashad Jones Jennings?
Man. Oh, man. Something that we didn't say that I want the people to know. That, you know, no matter where you come from, man, like you can make it. Like, if I'm talking, if this is my camera, if I'm talking to somebody, like, man, you the one. I'm talking to you. You the one. You the one that's gonna change your family trajectory. You the one who's gonna be the first one to go to college. You're gonna be the one to open up a successful business. You the one. Whatever you want, you the one. You gotta tell yourself that, man. And you know, like I've started doing like affirmations and stuff too, man. And like coming up in the West Side, man, we would never do that type of stuff.
Right.
But like you gotta evolve. You gotta evolve as a person, as a woman, as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, get in different rooms, travel, especially travel.